Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know about this episode. I mean, I feel like not a lot happened in this episode, and I get it. It's a soap opera. It's a day-to-day kind of, a day-to-day kind of, event, and not everything crazy happens all the time. But I feel like particularly this episode, you could have just skipped it. Maybe watch my review or Brock TV's review, or just like went on the internet and found a synopsis, and you just would just read right through and realize not a lot happened. And I'm gonna get the most pointless scene out the way. I'm gonna give you a second to sit there and think about what that is. Yep, Jocelyn and Trina. My goodness, I almost actually forgot her name for a second. Jocelyn and Trina. I felt like nothing really happened with them. Jocelyn's leg is better. They talk about, well, they just pretty much recap everything that's happened so far, as far as Jason being free. Cam was wrong, but he apologized. And then they go get caps and gowns, and then they make a pack, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember what the pack was, or even if they actually made the pack, because, well, I had to sit there and watch the rest of it on YouTube, because, well, once again, there was a news interruption, so because of that, yeah, and I didn't feel like waiting to 8 o'clock to sit there and try to watch this whole episode again. But yeah, they make some sort of pack, whatever it is, and I think they make some. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember what it was because I just kind of zoned out. But I think it has something to do with friendship and I don't know, all the things that they want to do as the three of them. I'm pretty sure at some point they're probably gonna add a new character in there because I feel like they just can't keep this up with just the three of them. Like I feel like there's a fourth person that just needs to be there. I remember back in the day when I was, when I first started watching it, you had, you had Georgie, you had, Maxie, you had Dylan, and I think you had Lucas. And then they kept mixing them up, and you got, Diego and stuff like that. So I feel like at some point they're gonna sit there and throw in another character. And you know what? Hopefully they do a better job than they did with Dev. Because Dev was just kind of a pointless character after a while. So, hopefully they do better. Jordan and Laura. Pretty much Jordan wants to quit. She feels because of the negative backlash that's going to come from Jordan and everything that she did, because everything's going to be public record after they testify, and just in general the way that she went about it, she feel like a lot of people got hurt by her actions, but so she's like she wants to quit, but ultimately she doesn't want to quitting because Laura convinces her, and she agrees to stay. So yeah. Now, Finn is working in the lab. He realized that, when Gregory gets in there, he realized that Gregory is most likely the father, and that the reason why the test came back negative is because Cyrus wanted revenge on Jackie. So he wanted revenge on Jackie because what Jackie did as far as outing him, with his mother and everything like that, he was like, all right, cool, I got you. And, not that long afterwards, the news, Peter, put out that paper, about the scandal with Jackie and her family and stuff like that. So, it was the fact that Cyrus opened up his mouth and said something smart, and it made him sit there and think, okay, you know what? Cyrus is a shady dude, but okay, yeah, now this makes sense. So he comes up with his theory, and I'm not gonna lie, at first, Gregory was just being, for like the first 10, 15 minutes, I feel like Gregory was just being super negative, just negative Nancy at some point, like, oh, it may not work, and then what happens if it doesn't work? I was like, well, bro, I mean, listen, if it doesn't work, you could at least sit there and say that he tried, like, but, eventually, he supports him, and at this point, they're just sitting there waiting, for the test results, but he also made an antidote, just in case, things get down, to the last minute. So, that's cool. After Jason talks to Britt, after Karli talks to, Jason about Britt, Jason's not really giving a lot of answers, and then he gets a call about a shipment, and some driver or whatever, so they kind of go their separate ways as far as, like, Jason goes to, I guess, Sonny's, restaurant that they don't actually serve any food or any people apparently. So he goes over there. Karli goes to I'm not gonna lie, I was sweeping earlier because I want to sit there and kind of like straighten up and stuff like that, and man, it's dusty as hell. So that's why I'm also drinking a lot of water. Not that I don't normally drink a lot of water, but there's a reason for it. Anyway, Karli goes to the hospital to talk to Brett about like what's going on between you and Jason and stuff like that, because like I said yesterday, Karli's concern is that Britt won't be able to handle Jason's life. His lifestyle and stuff like that. It was one thing when they were on the run and they had to sit there and kind of rely on each other. Now it's Thursday, so, Cyrus is gone, the danger's gone, so, like, I just don't know if you can handle, what Jason does. But Britt's like, listen, I have no expectations, I'm doing one day at a time, and, whatever happens, happens. So, with that being said, she walks off, and I feel like Karli didn't really get the response that she wanted to get, I don't know if she was trying to build up to something, as far as like sitting there saying, hey, listen, Britt, listen, I get you like Jason and everything like that, but his life is dangerous. You may sit there and say you like it now, but I don't want him getting hurt. I feel like she didn't really get to that part. So when she left, it was kind of like, if you ever actually talk to somebody, you start to build up a conversation to get to that point, but you don't get to that point, and you're just kind of standing there like, damn it, I really want to sit there and try to get that point across. That's the look that Karli had on her face. So I feel like at some point she's probably going to sit there and point that out, and well, we know how these things go, I mean, hell, look at Sam. And, they're doing a whole romance with Britt and, Jason. So, at this point, Britt is probably going to have the attitude of live for today, not for tomorrow. Which is all getting well until someone gets pregnant. So I guess we'll just wait and see. Now, Liesl goes to Jason, and she's pretty much like, listen, what are you doing about the Peter problem? And, Jason's like, listen, I got people sitting there looking for him, so when you find them, whatever. So, Britt is like, Liesl's like, listen, I need you to sit there and take care of him because I can't sleep, I don't want her worried, I need you to sit there and take care of him. But then when that conversation's over, she pretty much is like, what is your intentions for my daughter? I don't remember if he actually answered that. But, then she kind of breaks down. She starts crying, and, she feels the only person she could sit there and talk to about Britt's diagnosis is Jason. So they have they have a little bit of a moment or whatever. And then, well, then she leaves. Now, Britt and Liesl were talking earlier. And I'm not going to lie, in the beginning, when Britt walked into the room, she almost seemed like she was having a bit of PTSD. That was the last place that, they were going to sit there and kill her. So, Liesl walks behind her and she's like, listen, watch your back for Peter, because they didn't find him yet, and you just need to be careful. They talk about that. They talk about, pretty much Liesl asks what's going on between, her and Jason, and she tries to compare what's going on between her and Jason to Scott and her. Apparently they're not really exactly moving forward. In the beginning, it was about getting, going through grief with Scott over Franco. But now that that's kind of subsided, they're kind of just like in this bit of a limbo. Where Scott's not really saying too much, like how he feels, does he want to move forward, like what's the deal? And I'm not going to lie, besides that, I don't really think it really went anywhere else. I don't really think it went anywhere else. I'm kind of curious to see. Here's the thing, I'm not really about the whole couples thing or whatever. I don't know what Kim, the guy who plays Scott, is doing. But I do kind of wonder what is going on as far as their relationship goes. I mean, you got to sit there, I'm sitting there thinking about the last time, Scott and, Bobby broke up with Scott. Sort of kind of off screen. Like they had some sort of an issue off screen. And then the next scene you see them in, Bobby's pretty much breaking up with, with Scott. So I'm just wondering what's going on with Liesl and Scott. Maybe they'll get to it, maybe they won't. I guess we'll just wait and see. And I think the last scene is with Liz and Anna. Liz is trying so hard in this scene to cover her ass. It is laughable. So, Liz is running around upstairs in the roof, and that they're trying to find Anna, and she sees Anna, asking about, the building and the lab and the elevator and stuff like that. What's going on with that? Can we get down there? And, at first Liz tries her best to sit there and be like, hey, listen, we should be down there with Finn. I know you want to support him and stuff like that. We can't get down there anyway. I mean, the elevator's broke. Let's go. And then Anna says something along the lines of, I'm not going to sit there and give up. I'm going to sit there and try to find a way down there to that lab. And at one point, you see the look on Liz's face, ugh. And then she tries to talk her out of it, and she's all like, Peter could have went through a bunch of different exorcists. Why would he go down there? Doing everything that she can. She looks like she's literally sitting there jumping over hoops just to try to persuade Anna to, not try to figure out what's going on down there. But finally, she must have said something. I'm not going to lie, I was kind of laughing a little bit. But she must have said something. Because whatever she said, Anna eventually did drop it and was like, okay, well, maybe he's not downstairs, but because, she says something along the lines of, if I find the pilot, then I can kind of get a better, if there's, because, they're on the they're on the rooftop with, helicopters and stuff like that, so she's like, if I can find the right pilot that could have probably picked up Peter, then that may, get me one step closer to trying to find out where Peter's whereabouts are. And so, Liz is just like, well, I guess it'd be a problem for tomorrow or something like that. So, I'm just like, Liz, I get why they did what they did, but I feel like at the end of the day, they just made their situation so much more worse. Like, listen, I get it. If, the cops or whatever would have found them, you know, Finn may not actually have time. He might not actually have the time to sit there and save, Chase. So I understand where Liz is going with that. But now that, there's a cure and assuming that it works, Liz, you might want to actually sit there and think about turning yourself in. Because at this point, moving forward, if you don't do that, it's going to be a lot worse. And, Liz, you got 3 boys. So, covering up a body, covering up a murder, what are we doing? I feel like that's about it. And I think that's partly, I know I might be missing something, and I think that's partly to do with the fact that Jocelyn and Trina scenes were so unnecessary. And even when you go down, even when you get down to Laura and Jordan, all Jordan really tried to do for the most part is convince, try to tell Laura of why she shouldn't sit there and be commissioner anymore because of the stuff that she did. A lot of people got hurt because of her actions. This, that, and the third. She did all that. Laura says a couple of things, and then Jordan's like, okay, alright, I'll be commissioner again. On one condition, if there's like a whiff of distrust among the masses, then, I get to quit, right? Okay, sure. So, like 20, 30 minutes of using it to talk about you're going to sit there and quit. She says a couple of things, and then we just flip back, we just flip right around. Okay, alright. Anyway, I'm pretty sure tomorrow's actually going to be a lot better because, I saw the previews and stuff like that. They even actually got Violet there, and Chase, of course, looked like he's literally, well, I was going to sit there and say on his deathbed, but, like, literally just has, like, minutes to live. But, it seems like it's going to be a lot better episode than today's episode, because I was just like, I don't like episodes like this for a couple reasons. One, they're just not really that entertaining to watch. 2, whenever I'm sitting there doing a review, and I review an episode like this, I'm sitting there wondering, did I do something bad? Or was it just the episode? And so I'm just, ultimately I'm just like, well, yeah, I'm assuming that's the episode, because, I don't know. I always sit there and try to, like, do a quality video and stuff like that and try to always make sure I'm consistent because, people watch and so I always want to sit there and try to be consistent. So when episodes like this happens, it's just like, did I do a good job? Was it really bad? Or was the episode bad? I don't know. But yeah, tomorrow's episode is going to be a lot better. And plus it's Friday, so Cliffhanger Fridays. With that being said, one second. With that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. See you in the next video.